happened in front of everyone. A young airport employee stormed over, yelling at an elderly man wearing an old military jacket. She pointed at the patch on his chest, grabbed it, and ripped it off like it meant nothing. "You can't wear that here," she snapped. People stopped walking. Some filmed. The man didn't react. He just stood there, eyes calm, like he'd seen worse. But what happened seconds later left everyone frozen. A military cargo plane landed right there on the tarmac, and what came out of it made the whole terminal fall silent. By the way, tell us in the comments what city you're watching from. We love seeing where these stories are reaching. Frank Mallory had lived quietly for decades. Retired Army, Bronze Star, 3 tours overseas. He wasn't flashy, never asked for special treatment. He'd flown into town that morning to visit his grandson, who'd just started his first job at that very airport. Frank was proud but didn't say much. He wore his old jacket more out of habit than pride, a simple patch stitched to the chest, 82nd Airborne. It had been with him through everything. So when that young staffer grabbed him and yelled about unauthorized insignia, he didn't fight. He just took a breath and stepped aside. What that employee didn't know was that Frank wasn't just any veteran. He'd once led a special ops team during a critical mission that saved an entire convoy overseas, a mission classified for years. The jacket she'd just disrespected held more than fabric. It carried names, stories, and scars. But Frank didn't need to say any of that, because someone else did it for him. Just 10 minutes after the confrontation, airport security was called. Not because Frank made a scene, he didn't. A nearby pilot who'd recognized him from an old ceremony called in a report. That call reached a base not far from the city, and within an hour, a C-130 Hercules military transport was cleared to land. Passengers and staff at the airport watched, stunned, as the massive plane touched down. Armed soldiers stepped out in formation and walked straight into the terminal. They didn't say a word to anyone, just walked over to Frank, stood in front of him, and saluted. Every one of them. People pulled out their phones, gasps, applause. The mood shifted instantly. The airport manager came running. The young employee who'd yelled at Frank, she turned pale. She tried to walk away, but Frank stopped her, gently. He looked her in the eyes and said, "It's okay to not know, but it's not okay to disrespect before asking." She didn't say anything, just nodded, eyes filled with tears. The commanding officer stepped forward and handed Frank a folded flag, one that had flown that very day in his honor. "The country remembers, sir," he said, "even if some forget." By the end of the day, the video had gone viral. National news picked it up. The employee later released a public apology, admitting she hadn't known what the patch meant or what it had cost to earn. And Frank? He didn't care about attention. He just hoped. The moment taught people something deeper than outrage. It wasn't about him. It was about how quickly we forget the people who walked so we could run. If this story moved you, comment the word honor, because remembering isn't enough if we don't treat others with the respect they've earned. There is a story here on the screen that will also move you. Press to watch, you won't regret it.